Welcome to Forum Views, your local magazine show from Cavan TV. And remember, folks, if you want to get on the show or if you want topics on this show, check out cavantv.com or drumlinmedia@gmail.com. So I'm here with my host this time, Sheila Reilly, who abandoned me last week. Totally abandoned me.
But he's forgiven me and
So,
allowed me to come back.
welcome
That's
back,
the good news or the bad news, depending on which way you look at it.
And you know, I was on my own with no host last week, no co-host, so I decided to bring two co-hosts on. And we have Siobhan Harton as a guest this week. Who you know.
Back again, just can't resist. You know,
You're like a persistent
she loves
stain
that
on the
couch.
couch.
Thank you, Daniel.
Persistent stain of Mullahorn ginger.
Oh, God.
Don't go there.
The tribal jokes have already started and we're only in the bloody door.
Not even from Downey.
Yeah.
But you are outnumbered, so you would want to keep that in mind.
Especially the mannish Mullahorn women.
That
It's all coming out now.
What were you saying earlier on? What were you saying earlier on? You wanted co-hosts.
Oh no,
Mullahorn co-hosts, is it?
I'm just saying these are fantastic multitaskers, jumping between feminine and masculine all the time. And
We have a good balance.
Oh my
God! You've been doing the.
Could we actually shove that earpiece? You know where on live TV that is. Sure, you have to be question.
You should give it a try. It'll be definitely an exclusive. Cavan man in hospital with €200 worth of damaged Cavan TV equipment.
Front page.
Yeah. Well, look, do we need to introduce you? Do you want to introduce yourself and say a little bit about who you are and what you do? Or have you done that a few times?
I think I've done that a few times. Maybe I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Go on.
For all our new viewers out there.
For your new viewers, I'm Siobhan Harton, a great Mullahorn feminine woman.
Hey! Does that mean you have masculine women?
Absolutely not. It was just your comment that you said earlier on.
Mannish.
We're very beautiful Mullahorn ladies.
Yes.
I've only ever met beautiful Mullahorn ladies.
I know.
God.
We're known for beauty in Mullahorn.
Only in Mullahorn,
though.
Cavan, let's extend it.
Well, will we roll on with the stories?
Because this could go seriously
wrong.
wrong.
Totally.
Absolutely. So, first story is Sam stops off in Cavan Town so that we can actually touch it for the first time in how many years, Sheila, you were working
I think it's 61 years.
61
years.
Wow. Well,
First
maybe
time
come and
selling.
stop it and Cavan, we
years,
might get it
1952.
one year.
Exactly 60
Yeah.
But this
Might
reminds
start
me
a
of
roll.
so many people that I've talked to when you're abroad and stuff who say, "Oh, I've been to Ireland. Have you ever been to Cavan?" And go, "No, well, I passed through." That's
That's
Sam.
what said.
Yeah.
No. Cavan TV were actually there to witness Sam Maguire arriving in the Kilmore Hotel during the week. I think we have some footage from that actually.
Here we go.
Well, there
Beautiful.
you have it. Fantastic.
Absolutely wonderful.
Great shots. You can see Ross Mealy from the Kilmore leading them in there. Just really rapturous scenes. It's amazing to see, isn't it? Amazing the hype that a little cup can bring, or
Isn't
a big
it
cup
unreal?
can bring to a town.
I'm always fascinated by that. I'm completely fascinated. You know, because even Mullahorn again it's in the final, like, and the excitement around Mullahorn is just fantastic.
Is it fever pitch at this stage?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Wow.
ridiculous.
It
Like it's just this year. I think in Mullahorn it's been a bigger hype than ever before. How have we moved straight away from the Sam Maguire to Mullahorn? I don't know.
It'll be Mullahorn men that will bring it.
It's all about keeping it real. It's all about keeping it real, yeah. But it's true, yeah. But back to the Kilmore, and so hundreds of people turn out to see Sam Maguire coming through.
No, it's great.
Coming through and then it's come to Ulster. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great to get it.
I don't know, what can you say? It was fantastic achievement for us.
Yeah.
We'd be delighted and all the rest, and particularly for Michael Murphy there, 23 years of age, captain of an All Ireland winning team.
Isn't that
Like
brilliant?
it is an amazing achievement. They surely will remember it. Like.
So, well, fantastic. Will we move on?
Yes, we've got the next
Okay.
thing we've got is a Muslim community to open an Islamic cultural centre in Crehan in Cavan. So there you have it. That's the concept this
So
week.
it's the Islamic Cultural Centre, is that? It'll be
That's
different, but brilliant.
surely different, but I
Yeah.
mean,
Is there a
essentially, I'm
large
sure
Islamic
that's-
community in Cavan?
I actually have no idea. That's my ignorance to it.
Well, I
actually.
don't know, is it?
I
But
don't know.
Isn't it great that it's opening? And
Is
I mean,
it brilliant?
that
Yeah.
in itself would make people aware of
Yeah.
what's going on,
Yeah.
and that and of the community, and maybe broaden our horizons a little bit here. You know, I
Absolutely.
think it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. I
Is
think
it
it's
an
great.
ideal location? It's located between the back of the Kesh and the cheap drink of Lidl. It's.
Perfect. Perfect.
Didn't
Surely.
even think of that, Tanya.
I shouldn't do it, you know. But you know, I think it's
Be
brilliant.
guilty coming out of
Yeah.
Lidl. Yeah, there might be loads of pioneers in Cavan now the next few years.
Next time
I'd
I'm
say
falling-
that we need to be conscious of that.
That's
alright.
across the road from where I live, so I'm going to be falling out of the Kesh here in morning prayer. Going, yeah, it's time to go home now.
Yeah.
But I am so
The
happy
walk
to
of
see.
shame.
First of all, that building has been built right there. It's an eyesore. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see it used for something for the first time in what's been there 3 years, I think. And also a cultural centre, an Islamic cultural centre in Cavan. Great to see.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's great.
And I
It's,
think when you
it's great.
see, you see the start of that now, and it will kind of just, it'll sort of snowball, if you like, in that people will actually become more aware about what's going on. God knows, as I say, we do need to broaden our horizons a little bit, so
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
it gives somewhere where, and as it says in the article, for Muslims in Cavan, to celebrate things like Ramadan together.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah, to even know about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So brilliant. And speaking of new transformations in buildings, etc., the VEC has been acquired for 1.25 million, or the barracks has been
barracks,
acquired for
Mm.
1.25 million for the VEC. Interesting, considering it was built for 30 million euros.
It's yours for nothing.
Bargain
It's a
deal.
Now,
bargain.
there is
It's a bargain.
a question about, one state agency paying 1.2 million to buy a building from another state agency. Like, it is just kind of basically, it literally is, just semantics, I
Yeah.
think, in relation to that. Like, I'm delighted that the VEC
Yeah.
have taken this building over. I question why they've had to pay the Department of Defence 1.25 million for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to come out of the VEC coffers. Like, surely to God, that money could be better spent somewhere else.
I know.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
it's
And-
just it's just a typical thing of the government that it will shift around resources and pay for them at the same time.
It's
kind of-
bananas.
so
Yeah,
mad.
that's
It's
bananas.
so mad,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, and what are they going to have to do? How are they going to make it fit for purpose? Because I mean, as far as now, I have to say the only times I was ever out in the barracks is at the 21st, about 1 million years ago, availing
Really,
of
did
very
you?
cheap and great drink out there. But there is
Didn't
lots
know
of
they
cities-
do that out there.
Oh yeah, they had all
Really?
that stuff. Yeah.
But I think
Totally missed
the
out.
location's brilliant. I honestly,
Do you
it's-
reckon it is?
I've been around it quite a few times in the
Yeah.
last 2 years.
Yeah.
A lot of the forum events would have had quiz shows and stuff out there.
Yeah.
And it was, there's places for theatre, there's places for sports.
Yeah,
It
space-wise.
is pretty good.
Will they have to build something there though?
Probably.
And doesn't that seem a bit nuts
More
in
money.
itself? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they going to move from the one in town and leave that abandoned, or are they using that as well?
They're using that as well, I think.
They're
So
using
this
that
will
as
be
well.
an
So it's an add-on.
expansion.
This is
An
kind of a-
expansion.
yeah.
Okay.
There is
And
another
it's-
element, and I've said this before here, about what's going on in Monaghan. They've taken over the barracks in Monaghan. There's actually a 35 million euro development going on in Monaghan barracks, which is supposed to be catering for training and education, and that's going to be Cavan Monaghan VEC.
Yeah.
And then you have this going on as well in Cavan. Now, I'm delighted this is
Oh,
happening
it's
in Cavan.
brilliant.
But
Yeah.
there is an element of
What is
the
going
hell
on?
is going on?
Yeah.
Like, where's the joined up thinking?
Yeah.
in
Are
all
they
this?
tightening up the health service and shifting all the money over into
To
education?
Well, there's nothing wrong with money going to education.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I just do wonder, where's the grand plan here
Yeah.
in terms
long-term
of what,
strategy.
or what is
Yeah.
the story? I don't want anybody to be going to Monaghan.
Oh
for
yeah,
their- that's
absolutely.
not what
No,
I
it's
want.
great to see that
Yeah.
there's something like that
Yeah.
been doing. But and are they going to live there as well? Is there like accommodation going to be out there?
No,
so okay.
That end of it's gone.
Yeah.
You can
I
have a
think
look
we
at
have-
there's a little piece here we have. That's
that's the
an
plans
artist's
there.
impression of what it will look like when it's done. But they could have
Is
just
that
taken
not
an
his
aerial
original?
photograph,
Yeah,
but still,
Yeah, for most people, it's like,
But-
what is
but-
that?
but an
That could be a
architect-
housing
Some
development
architect made a
somewhere.
But
lot
an
of money.
architect got paid to
Yeah,
make that,
made a
so
lot
you
of
know
money.
it
And
took
How much of the
2 hours.
1.25 million went in that?
Yeah.
Well, I would have drawn that for
Oh, we should have
50 quid.
should have had John McKiernan in today.
Siobhan's an artist. She
I
could
know,
have
I
drawn
could have
that.
totally
She could
done
have
it. I actually
thrown
would
that
have made you a model of
Yes,
it as
something
well.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
Well, look, we're going to move on to our next story, but we're going to keep with buildings being rejuvenated or changed, and the Coothill Mart is being set to reopen this autumn. I think it's fantastic. Coothill needs some
Yeah,
resuscitation.
Coothill is a place that's taken serious hit in the last 10 years. It's just, it's terrible to see what has happened. Once thriving market town, to say the least.
Yeah.
The Mart is really a kind of, it's just a signal, I suppose, of the growth of agriculture, you know, that it's kind of back on the scene. And I think Jimmy Brady's quoted a good bit in that article there. He's kind of talking about the boost it'll be to the economy, to the local farming sector. It's great to see.
Yeah.
You know.
It is, yeah, definitely.
And I guess that's what we're going to have to start returning to, is the farming sector, because that's the old
We have
reliable.
returned.
people-
As I was
yeah,
talking to somebody from the IFA this week, and he said we've become sexy again.
Bringing sexy back
In my head,
in
my
welly
head,
boots.
I was
In
saying,
wellies.
no,
Hunter
you
wellies.
haven't. Roll with it, like.
Yes, I'd be bringing sexy back to the field.
Yeah, I could imagine like all these men groomed going to the Mart. And they're all their wellies.
Siobhan, the next time you're in, you have to bring in the wellies, right? Then we'll see. We'll see how far we've become
Your Monaghan
sexy.
uniform. Oh, let's not go there. Okay, well, we're also going to talk about the Taste of Cavan event, which is planned for the 1st of November.
So, what does Cavan taste like? That's what I want to know.
What does
Cavan
Cavan
Cola.
taste like?
Cavan
Cavan
taste
Cola.
They should revive
Yeah,
Cavan
they
Cola.
should
Definitely.
bring the
Bring
taste
it
of
back.
Cavan. Definitely bring
because
back
there
Cavan
aren't
Cola.
enough stone children
Bring it
in
back.
the world. They really
I
need
say.
a kind of Cavan Cola to revive their spirits. Oh
But
my
this,
god!
this
That'd be
Taste of
wonderful.
Cavan, I've
Yeah,
had an
Taste of Cavan.
exclusive look at the lineup for it this evening, and it's from 9:30 in the morning until 9:30 at night, and it looks fantastic. There's going to be cook-offs between celebrity chefs. There's going to be demonstrations of
What celebrity chefs do we have? We only have Nevin Maguire.
Nevin Maguire. We have Corrigan. His roots are here, so he's coming back to take on Nevin Maguire on a cook-off.
Oh, really?
He's from
Wait,
he's from Meath.
Originally, he was born in Cavan.
Oh, was he?
So he's returning to his roots, is what it says.
Ah.
on Ebbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you live? And where are you from?
But her roots are in Cavan.
Her roots are deep in the muck of Mullagherne.
Yeah. But
But,
it's, that
it'll be
sounds
good.
fantastic.
But it'd be good
actually,
to, as well, just try and appreciate the rich produce we have in the county.
Oh, I think
you
it's
know?
great.
Yeah.
Like it goes to Lakeland. Wasn't Lakeland Dairies won the award last night for the best business in Cavan?
Oh, is that
Yeah.
right?
So
Well,
that
it's
was
fantastic, and like
great.
there's so much going on out in Lakeland Dairies. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Like, and they've got a Tesco contract and everything as well. Like, it really is. What can you say? Like, it's brilliant to see a company like that kind of thriving. And
Yeah.
So it's all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And
all
it's
of
going
it.
from 9 to because they're doing a breakfast as well, and they're starting off with breakfast, and then
Well,
there's
it's like
like
a-
a secondary school
They have a
cook-off as
breakfast
well.
conversation.
Oh,
And it's a
breakfast
full
conversation.
Irish fry
how
with
civilised.
politics and social chat is what it's called. And that's how they kick it off.
Oh God, I'd love that. Are you serious?
Mm.
I missed
First-
that bit.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm going to be in
I
Munich.
got it to the end of me.
I'm going to be in Munich drinking beer that day. So.
Oh, you go,
So you won't
But
be
yeah.
as
Yeah,
civilised.
but we'll have Paddy Connaughton on a week or two before to talk about that
Excellent.
and to promote it. So it'll
Oh,
be great
that'd
to
be
have
great,
see
yeah,
some of you and
'cause
what's
it's good-
happening.
And in
Yeah.
the meantime, we'll be thinking about what Cavan tastes like.
Yeah. Okay, so the next story, Sheila, what's up?
Hospital allegedly loses 34 years of files belonging to an epileptic patient. And here we have this gentleman, Jerry Mulligan.
Yeah.
He was interviewed in the South this week, and he was talking about how he needs those documents actually to for his treatment, for ongoing treatment. Like, it's just a bizarre tale. Really.
It's very unusual. Very
Just
unusual.
it's only his documents that are lost. Well, no one knows if theirs, you know, his has just come to light.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that's true too. Now,
Yeah.
the HSE, of course, they don't
That is
respond to
weird.
individual
Yeah, they haven't
cases,
responded.
and if you are unfortunate enough that you have to deal with HSE PR department, you will know that they don't respond to any queries
Right.
in general. But
they
there you go.
irritate.
I think Jerry Mulligan should not lose hope. Jerry, if you're
No.
watching Cavan TV at the moment, don't lose hope. There is a long legacy of HSE records turning up in bins and tips
Sure, you
around the
feel
country.
it
So
in a
have a
field
look.
somewhere.
Have a look
Yeah,
up the back of the
yeah.
Yags or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
You'll find it. You'll find it.
It's through
That's-
the bonfire.
That's really not a comforting thought
not
in all
really.
of this. Yeah.
But we do hope that Jerry gets his medical files and they do turn up.
Oh
because
yeah,
that
definitely.
is-
It'd be horrible.
Yeah.
That would be horrible.
and he
Yeah, well,
needs
fair
Yeah.
dues to him for
30
highlighting this, because
34
that's the
years.
sort of thing that could easily just disappear into the ether, and
Yeah.
that you know, he could be sitting at home kind of getting frustrated and angry, but he actually has come out and highlighted that. I think
Yeah.
people need to do a lot more of that they kind of tend to
Absolutely.
back off a bit
Yeah.
in the face of the mammoth bureaucracy that these agencies put out. So
And actually, I have
Yeah.
to say, it was I didn't think
No.
I wasn't sure if we were running with this story until actually my own mother said it's an interesting story because it made her ask her doctor, "Do you have my records?" It's something she had never asked.
I would
Do you
never
actually
think
have
of
my
asking
records?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd never ever think of asking it.
Is
You'd, you'd
Yeah,
really
would
hope
you-
they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I really want them.
Yeah.
Burn those ones. I know. No.
Yeah. All right.
So
This is terrible. Our next story is the bit about the thieves who posed as home helpers
Yeah.
to rob.
it's
Yeah.
2 women in East Cavan, apparently, who were preying on pensioners.
It's disgusting
It's
story.
absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a disgusting story. Like, because how vulnerable the elderly are. It's just
Particularly
it's
in the
and
rural
then-
areas.
And,
and stuff.
Yeah.
and home help is, for a lot of them, the only kind of human contact
Yeah.
that
They
they have.
Yeah.
And like even now, their confidence and the security, the sense of security having that is just destroyed by these 2 women who basically walk in. One of them, in this one case, took up a brush and started to sweep the floor, and the other one then obviously went down to the room and took money. Like, it's just despicable.
Is it alright? Like, because they had some neck on them and like confidence go in and just show their faces.
Yeah.
And then to build this trust with these women, these elderly ladies, and then just to shatter them like that, you know, and the fear that would be in those ladies now, of after that, like who to trust, who not to trust, you know, how to. It'd be horrible.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
horrible. The repercussions just horrible.
I think you're right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's just something so sinister about it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And folks, also on the back of the CELT, there's an article just to warn people, just check relevant ID, make sure they have the relevant ID of the agency they say they're coming from before you check. And I know that our organisation rolled out the digital switchover, and there was huge warnings of people, do not answer your door, because there were people saying, I'm from digital switchover, and just...
Really doing that as well.
So can I come in and
I
have a
heard
look
that.
at your TV and see if your box is okay? So this, it's not an isolated case. This is,
And I just think people need to be sensible about it and understand that anyone calling to their door will have ID. If they're there for a legitimate reason, they'll have ID.
Yeah.
If they don't have ID, they can come back again.
Yeah.
You know.
But then, is there
if they're
something to
genuine,
show them that this is the right ID?
Yeah.
You know, because they can easily make up with this well. You want to have that they know which is the right ID to look for and stuff. Yeah, but it's horrible.
Yeah, that's it. All these cards will have numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
You can just take the card and
ring the
ring
number.
the place,
Yeah.
ring the office.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. Like it's terrible to think that people have to do that, and people in rural areas, their sense of security in
They're
some
very trusting.
ways, they are very trusting. They have a greater sense of security because they think they have this thing about I'm home and it's local and it's do you know that kind. They have all of that in their heads. I think it's such an invasion of that privacy.
Yeah.
Maybe they're coming from a generation where they lived in a friendlier Ireland. That would never happen in the 60s or 70s in rural Ireland.
Yeah, I do think that people are savvy, and that a lot of those older organisations that are around, like Age Act and Positive Age and those things, they're great. And I do think they kind of instill people a lot of confidence and bring them together, and people aren't as isolated. God, you'd like to think that they weren't as isolated.
Yeah, there's still a lot of isolation.
Yeah, it's scary.
Definitely. There's still a lot.
Since the recession has began, this is one of the more worrying points, I think, for me, is that it's not that I don't mind crime, but when crime figures rise, that's natural in a recession. But when they rise in vicious ways like this, where they target people like elderly people, it's just it's wrong, completely wrong.
Yeah, I'd be with you in that.
So, and we also have a contact on the back of the cell, the Good Morning Service. So have a look at that. So any old people can contact them if they're in any doubt about the person calling to the door. The
or
Good
even
Morning
if they just
Service.
want to have a chat with someone, it's a great service.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
Good Morning Service.
Absolutely. So we're thank you very much to the Anglo Celt for all your stories. We're moving now on to our national stories. Sheila, interesting.
Phil Hogan, the minister that keeps on giving. Travellers will not be housed near you. This is about where he sent a letter out to his constituents saying naming a named family, the McCarthy family, will not be will be housed in your area, and but it was basically on petitions that he had received from local people. So that he had been canvassed, basically. He had passed the information on to the county council, and he was letting his constituents know that he had done that. And
but did he deny doing that after?
No.
Oh no,
No.
he didn't. He hasn't denied
Well, he
it.
can't deny it because
Yeah,
I
it's
think we
in
have
writing,
another clip here of the actual
Yeah,
letter
I think the
signed by
letter's
Phil Hogan. And there we go, there's the actual letter.
And his mugshot is
Will
on
not
it
be-
as well.
they'll not be allocated a house in your area.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Wow.
that really is,
I
for a
suppose.
man who is, jointly, but he is the Minister of Community
It's baffling.
in this country, is just ridiculous.
What's most worrying about that is that he thought it was okay just to put that down in the
Yeah.
letter. Like,
Yeah.
it's just on a number of levels.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that they're travellers. It doesn't matter
No.
anything like that. It's just, absolutely, like, what sort of a place do we live in? Literally, you'd want to take the parish pump up by the root and thump him over the head with it. Because that is just taking a bridge too far. Like these fellas think they're not.
I don't want to get the wrong
counsellors.
side of Sheila.
Yeah. Well, just be glad he doesn't represent.
I've never heard that threat before.
No,
but I'm terrified of you.
You sure you
Wait
want
for
to be
the
sitting
parish pump
there?
next time I insult the horn.
Have we got a parish pump?
We do. We have a few parish.
Take your parish pump and whack him.
Yeah.
Whack him over the head with it.
Well, look, I mean, it's just, I don't understand how a man can retain that position after making that decision.
Well,
Yeah, it's still there.
the truth about this government at this point is that they're in power, maybe 18, 19 months. And in that 19 months, they have become as arrogant as the previous government were in 20 years, and I know they were no great shakes, but Jesus, this crowd are just pushing the boat out.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be talking about Roisin Shortall and James Reilly soon, and when we talk about arrogance, we
Well,
can
look,
talk about
let's have a little ad break between ministerial controversies.
Rants. My
Yeah.
rants. Let's indeed be
So-
a break.
So after the break, we'll see the parish pump in action again.
I'm Gavin Duffy, and I'm saying watch cavantv.com. It's a great opportunity to see some great programs, and you can watch it all around the globe via the internet and on many platforms. I watch it myself. Great stuff.
Welcome back to Parish Pump News with Sheila Reilly. And
never
we're
gonna let that
ranting
down.
and battering ministers with the local parish pump on Forum Views with Cavan TV. So, which minister are you going to batter with your pump?
The next one we have in sight is James Reilly. James Reilly and Roisin Shortall.
Wee
debacle.
Jimmy.
Final face-to-face for crisis discussion.
Okay, let's just list out what's the story here. How did it start? There was primary healthcare centres, isn't that right? And there's a list of them.
Well, if you go back, there was a vote of confidence for James Reilly in the Dáil last week, and Roisin Shortall stood up in her supposed support speech for James Reilly, which was 4 minutes long, managed never to mention the minister's name throughout the whole speech, and listed off a litany of failures of the health department, and her remit was primary care. So then that was last week, and then this week then it emerged, a couple of days later it emerged, as these things do emerge, that James Reilly had put on 2 primary care centres in his constituency, had added them on, and
now
that's a guy who doesn't listen.
Leo Varadkar sewed the absolute boot into him then in the weekly politics by saying that, you know, he didn't know the ins and outs, but yes, he could see why people would think it looked like stroke politics. Which, you know, I'm no fan of Leo Varadkar, but in sometimes he just says it as it is. You have to like that about him, you know.
But, you know, in all honesty, let's look at the other side of it. In his defence, Reilly has said that, you know, the criteria had changed on the primary healthcare, so he's just adding the next 2 on the list that would have been on if the criteria were different. But the Irish Times this week...
the Times is something that's kind of saying, no, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, the Times looked at the list and it was the 44th and I think it's the 44th and the 87th or something like that down the list.
Priority,
You know, so really this is not looking like... He's telling fibs, he's getting caught.
Yeah, basically what he did. I think
like most of them.
A lot of what he does, though, he just seems to come on and kind of be able to say, he thinks he can say, oh, I did it because I did it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
The arrogance
I'm
is
minister.
just
the arrogance is
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is it any wonder that we're losing complete faith in leadership in this country? You know, it's just...
You know, I begin to despair when you see that. We talked about Phil Hogan earlier, and now we've moved on to James Reilly, and we're still in the same theme of kind of thinking, well, I can do it. Why can't I do it? Type of thing. A lot of what happens when people get elected, here's my rant number 2, when they get elected, they just get totally removed from the real world, and it's like all along they want to get elected and they believe they're right, and then when they get in and they see it from the inside, all of a sudden it's like the rest of the world is wrong. We're all out of step with them. We don't understand the pressure that they're under and the way that it is and the way the system works.
They call it manifest destiny psychology, that if you get in there, therefore you must be good enough to make all the decisions without consultation or democracy.
Oh God.
So
it's just
wow.
Yeah, I think we have another picture.
I feel sorry for Roisin Shortall, but I really admire her and what she's done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also, you know, Roisin Shortall, she did mention that the Taoiseach backed, and that was a bad decision. So it's in the back of Siobhan's head.
Look at you, Siobhan.
Wow.
Which way do I go this way?
Amazing.
You should do that for all of them.
Can we do that? I want that for everyone. That's amazing.
I want it to roll in behind.
I want the articles to float out of Siobhan's head. As if she's thinking the news.
All the thoughts.
Yeah, like bubbles.
Oh, bubble thoughts.
Bubble thoughts. No,
cool.
that'd be dangerous.
Thought bubble. Parish pump. There's our regular.
No, there it is, without one.
But you know, so it really it's just
Taoiseach is backing for Reilly. Now, in fairness, the Labour Party have said, I heard Colin Keaveney, the chairman of the Labour Party, saying during the week that he seen Eamon Gilmore supporting Roisin Shortall twice, backing her in relation to this last weekend. But I read that article in the Times. Then you have it would appear that it seems to be the other way around, and that they all rallied around Reilly, all her Labour Party colleagues, and left her out high and dry. I think, what do we have? Do we have a?
We have a lovely picture to his minister's ship, and it's.
I think that's poor Kathleen Lynch in the background.
And there goes Roisin in the background again. Yeah. And he's saying stroke.
Yeah. Well, there you have it.
Look, let's move on.
Yeah.
What happy news do we have next?
I think we have about the guards. Yeah, they're going to challenge the ban on lobbying over closure.
Is this the one? Guards aren't citizens anymore.
basically it is, yeah, that
they can't talk to local
legislation was
politicians.
brought in that they wouldn't allow them to lobby politicians over the closure of rural guard stations.
Well, I understand, unions wise they can't strike or anything, and that's because they're an emergency service apparently. Apparently, allegedly an emergency service. But the fact you can't talk to your local politician about a problem you have is ridiculous.
And they totally can't talk to them.
Yeah, well, that's what they're...
How would you feel,
Allegedly so.
Siobhan, how would you feel if you were a guard and your job is in jeopardy because there's closures and you're told you can't talk to anyone?
Oh, you'd be
about
so
it?
frustrated. You'd be so frustrated.
Yeah.
Why aren't they out protesting?
Yeah, well,
Get them out
might
protesting.
Do you think, does it matter though that rural guard stations are closing? Like, you're from a
does.
rural area as well. Like, does that matter?
It
Or,
does.
When you see that they're saying there's only one crime a week reported in some of them or whatever, do you think does it matter?
Oh, it does, definitely. I think it does. Like, even in those cases, if we go back to the other story with the
East
elderly
Cavan,
people,
yeah.
do you know?
That's where the heaviest closure of guard stations has been in Cavan, is in East
Do you know?
Cavan.
And it's given opportunity. It is. It's given opportunity for these people
even
to
if
hit.
they don't, well, apart from response times, even if they don't do a lot, the deterrent of having a guard station there is a lot, I think.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because you even see, like, on the border of Finney, or or Westmeath and Cavan, and there's a guard station there, and just having that there is security around, like, just to know that that's there. Everyone knows that's there. Everyone knows their local guard, so they feel safe in going to him, talking if they have issues, like, around different things, to go and talk to them, like. So I think definitely it is important to have them there. Yeah.
But in terms of then, why are they afraid of guards lobbying them more than anybody else? This is the thing, like, like there's would they go out of their way to ensure that guards wouldn't lobby them? Like, isn't it bizarre in itself?
It's odd, very odd.
Maybe.
Well, who will arrest the guards if they strike?
Well, actually, it was really funny. That was in, the army then comes in to play.
Marshall,
the army comes in to play. But I remember when I travelled in South America, and the guards did a big strike while we were travelling. We were absolutely crapping ourselves because the guards were on strike, and it was South America. But then the army came into play there as well.
And was that a good thing
with
or a bad thing?
It was chaos. It was
And are we funding
chaos.
the Garda Síochána in South America?
Well, it wasn't the guards. Yeah.
That's where our money's going.
Yeah.
Closing down.
They're all heading over to
You can
South
take the woman
America.
out of the ball, oh, look at the little guard.
But the only thing was,
in
they were able to do guns there. That was the difference. Like,
We're closing
it
down
was
stations in
scary.
West Cavan, open them in Peru.
Yeah, sending them
Highlands
out.
here, Highlands
Send
there.
It's the damn same.
Yeah.
But do you not think it's like a kind of a breakdown in democracy where you have to say to a certain segment of society, you can no longer talk to your local representative?
I think it's a disgrace, really.
Yeah,
But
I'm wondering, I'm laughing at their faith in lobbying local politicians.
As if that makes a
Really?
difference.
That ain't gonna make... Yeah.
Lads, you're all right. It doesn't make a difference to me.
Yeah.
So, it's... Yeah. Maybe we need a new system, and the new Oireachtas Joint Committee on Public Service is a new... What is this? What is
Basically,
it? Magic?
you can make a petition. The idea is that any citizen can make a petition. Yeah, obviously, unless you're a guard.
Yeah.
Any citizen can make a petition to the Dáil on an issue that's of relevance to you. Now, I know they do call this the Cranks Charter, but they're saying it's not going to be that. It's going to be kind of... I think they have a way of vetting them. It's quite a strict... It's quite a strict system. You're not just able to come up with any old thought in your head and pitch it to them. There are strict
But
rules.
is it a kind of a body where they're just kind of looking for extra hours to pay people to do stuff? Because
no, I think
they're
in
debating
fairness to
crucial
this,
issues like cyclists on footpaths. That's one of the 15 issues that's come through.
Yeah, well, I know you're saying that, but in fairness to that, if that's an issue that's important to somebody, what do you think? What do you think about that? Like, is there something that was really bugging you? Would you not like to think that you had a place that you could go beyond maybe just politics?
Your local politics.
Yeah. Well, actually, just when you say the cyclists on footpaths, living in Dublin, if you cycled on a footpath, the pedestrians will literally just knock you off the bike.
Is that north or south?
It's outside city. No, they will.
North side, they use a
will
snooker
definitely.
cue through the front of the bike.
Oh,
So it
lovely.
is a big problem for some people.
Yeah.
So it is, yeah. So that was, But sorry, what was your question, Sheila? Sorry, I just went on a trail of thought. That's why you shouldn't have those bubbles.
I'm still stuck
bubbles.
with him on the snooker cue.
Oh, really?
I just
Where did
picture
that come from?
North
you never
side
seen
pool.
that?
I hope they never have thought bubbles in here because it's like a
Snooker
train of
cues
thought.
in bicycles and parish pumps and
Knocking the
So
people up. Yeah.
okay, if you have a problem and you go
Yeah.
to your local politician in Mullaghorn well, not really, the Republic of Mullaghorn, if it doesn't work, are you going to try and use this if you're passionate about your problem?
Well, it's a good thing too that it's there, that the opportunity is there for people. If they're very passionate about it, then why not? Yeah,
Will
absolutely.
it make a difference, or is it just
I think you could
Well,
be
it doesn't-
surprised
Yeah.
at what comes out of it. You know, that
But
there could be things that would never get an airing otherwise.
Yeah.
but is it a
Well, you're
list
skipping
of
out the other person, aren't you? You're going direct.
Or is it just- is it a list of complaints?
The idea is it's your last port of call type thing.
Yeah.
If you've exhausted any, although there is a citizen here, I did think this was funny, who wants to change the postal ballot rules. Which, in fairness, maybe that's relevant to somebody.
But
Other topics
is it
include
but
petitions.
is it
on
somewhere
criminal
where there's
justice.
going to be a list of complaints made where every answer to it is, well, we don't have the money to do anything about that
Well,
every
that's
time,
probably.
but they
there's
have
a big
money to
possibility
process
about
all
that,
of the
isn't there?
complaints, kind of thing, you know.
No,
Yeah.
there will come a point when we don't have money for it. Just it doesn't wash people anymore. Because if you have money to like, if you have money to fund the public system as such, like I think, didn't I see last night in the news we spent actually over 25 billion more than we generated last year. There is going to come a point where we have no money is not a decent excuse anymore, because you're just going to have to say, well,
What do you spend the
public
money on?
servants,
Banks.
public service and all that, and the banks.
Well, a lot
and
of
all
money
that.
went into the banking sector, didn't it?
A few quid went into
A
it.
bit, wee bit.
Yeah, but it's so important that we keep
I have to
IBRC
say,
afloat.
and I don't want to promote business here, but well, I do. I was on the Viking Splash tour yesterday in Dublin.
They did
Oh,
free
it's
tours,
great.
were
and
they?
it's fantastic. Oh well, I didn't. I just brought some friends.
Oh, they were
of
doing
mine.
free tours on Culture Night or something, was
don't
it?
tell me that.
Yeah, sorry.
But it was fantastic. But the guy was all about banking stuff. Every time we passed by a bank, he turned to a group of German tourists and said, "You see this? This is the black hole all your money went into. Thank you very much."
Very
He was
good.
so clued in. He was so quick.
Brilliant.
Like,
Yeah,
get
good
that guy.
though.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant.
I've done that actually.
I
I did it
haven't
in a
done
hen
that.
party. It's
Oh,
great.
did you?
Yeah.
That's a great idea
Brilliant.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't did. I did it. Yeah, I didn't do it in Dublin.
No, it's good crack though. Yeah. Anyway,
So
we're definitely covering a broad gambit this season.
God, yeah.
We're moving on to.
We have a kind of a double story here. It's the ERSI have there's a squeeze on cash forces thousands of us to quit pensions, which is 1 in 5 people are starting to drop out of pension payments
serious.
because they just can't afford it.
So when they talk about the pension bomb or whatever they call it, it's not just, it used to be kind of bad enough in terms of that we weren't paying enough towards our pensions, but now actually it's that just people aren't paying anything towards it. Like, God almighty, what is the country going to be like? There'll be tumbleweed going through this country in 30 years' time.
And likewise,
people will not have any money
more
to
people
support
as
their
well.
retirement because they're living longer.
And 1 in 8 are better off on the dole, which is the new ERSI report that's out as well, which is just...
Well, I think it's... No, I thought the ERSI, that report basically said it wasn't that they criticised the Troika's findings that, people were better off on the dole, and the ERSI kind of sort of put the hard facts on that actually it's not just as straightforward as that. So it just I don't know, you begin to think whose figures are right.
Yeah, he's telling the truth here. What's going
Well, we're going round and round, but
isn't it?
I think there is one fact here, is in 20 or 30 years we're not going to be able to support the growing population.
No.
And I was reading some figures today that said because of immigration we've
all those
for the
people who are in
first
Australia,
time,
they're funding the
well,
Aussies.
they're funding the Aussies, but at the same time right now it's the first time we've ever had stagnant population growth in Ireland since 1992.
Yeah, that's scary.
So if we're not growing in population, but the population's getting older, and we're not putting money into pensions, how are we going to support?
Have more babies.
Siobhan, do you want to make babies?
I'm actually okay for it. I can't support myself.
It is your national duty to make babies.
Okay. Right now, there's a good few more years in me to
baby.
decide.
But those years could be translated into babies. Good Irish babies.
No,
to support the pensioners.
I think it's because we're not all having 8 babies and 9 babies anymore. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
You see, you know,
Yeah,
because
it's
some of them
more.
used to stay and some of them would go away, but that's part of the problem.
But
Maybe
lobby
they
out
should
for more
ban
babies.
contraception. Oh, didn't they do that before?
I think that didn't really work out.
No, it
No,
didn't
no.
work
Good,
out.
yeah.
A lot of cross-border trade then.
No,
Oh, still is.
there are no depths to which we won't stoop.
So, but apparently Joan Burton has all the
she
answers
says the
there.
EU is going to help us. They're going to help jobless youth, which in fairness, Joan, you know, that was a leap. Because they're not, you know, but anyway, it's one way to try and put a spin.
We're also, I mean, Ireland's
Yes,
EU presidency, we're the
taking it on.
only country in Europe so far that's held the presidency that has had no plans, nil point, for the presidency at all. We have no plans to do anything big or a large kind of project or a large kind of social engagement project.
I think they might, though, get into a thing of what's the money for going to go for. How are you going to generate the money for, or where are you going to get the money to fund a big lavish banquet in Dublin Castle, which inevitably would happen. But
we could use the presidency to try and, you know, kind of ask where is all that money going and why are we not getting our money and what's happening with all the bondholders' money.
This whole thing will expose the EU presidency for the farce that it is. It's
well,
just
actually, the
an
next
honorary thing, basically.
The next story does show the farce that the presidency is, because on the next story, I think we have it there, is the Germans, Dutch and Finns, my office desk, slam ESM door on Ireland, which really shows where the strings of power are in Europe.
Yeah.
You know, EU presidency,
German,
it doesn't really mean anything.
No.
You know.
German, Finns, there.
Yeah. It's the AAA countries in Europe that are pulling this string. Siobhan, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you. You know, it seems to be. We don't have a say.
Do you feel?
We don't
do you
really
have a
say,
sense
do
of
we?
being? Do you have a sense of being a European? Are you a European? Like, do you know when you go? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, is that part of your
yeah.
identity? Is it part of our identity?
I don't know. Do you? Well, you say you're part of Europe, but I don't know. How does it feel to be European?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I always
Did
think
you
of
vote
European
yes or no
as somebody
for
who's
Europe?
French.
Actually, French or Spanish or Italian. Yeah, you always feel that.
Yeah, they're European. I think because they're on the main, they're geographical. They're there on the mainland
centre,
as such, and we're sort of that bit removed. But you know, like I'd say I am a European. I always vote yes in the referendums and all that. But at the same time, are we? You know, but do we have that real sense of being European people? I don't know if we do.
I don't know. Do you?
Well, you see how tribal we are to be like Cavan.
Yeah.
Oh God! Let's not even go into the horn issue.
We're pretty local.
Yeah. We operate in a hyper-local base. In my business, they call that hyper-local.
Oh, is that hyper-local?
Hyper-local society.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. I never even thought of that before. Do I feel European? Do I feel... what springs to mind? The bubbles again. The top bubbles. It's like, should I go round with my beret?
But then you're French, you're not European. What is... But that's the thing.
Then
What is
French
European?
Then as well.
I think there's been almost no work. This whole European project is very grand and very big and stuff, but there's been no work done on identity or, you know, trying to... What the hell is it? Really?
Being European, yeah.
I mean, being old world, being like classical music, or I don't know, what is
Where
it?
are you with classical music? What do you mean by being European?
Yeah, but like what kind of culture or art has come from Europe as a whole, like, you know?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
that's European identity.
But isn't it good? I think that's really good though, that we haven't all merged into one kind of bland Europhile feels or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that would be. We don't want that.
Yeah.
No.
Let's face it.
Yeah.
But
right.
I voted yes for Europe because I think it's a good idea. But I don't think it's a good idea if you start sacrificing your individual nationalities and identities and stuff.
Well, if you think of it, the European project is 30, 40 years in now, and it hasn't happened. In fact, we seem to have become more intransigent in our ways. Than
parish
we ever
pumps
were.
are the biggest thing. It's like hammer and sickle, parish pump and... God.
That's it. I'm not going to rant again.
Okay. Well,
It's okay, we love the ranting.
in coming back, Enda Kenny has
yes,
insisted that the June decision on bank debt still stands. So this is in response to this. We didn't actually talk about this.
No.
They've slammed. You know the whole selling thing. They wanted to sell the stability mechanism fund.
Yes.
And they said, it'll be great for us, it'll be brilliant. And all of a sudden these countries have come back and said, no, that's for any new problems that will pop up, it's not for you.
Yeah, it's not for your problems.
You know, so in other words, it was big fibs. Was it big fibs? Or
Well,
Kenny?
no, I mean, like, it was all very vague at the time, let's face it. But yeah, I mean, they did say that we would be able to avail of that, of the ESM.
And
that's what the
one of
referendum
the
was
sticks.
for. Yeah.
And I remember reporting it here was, one of the sticks is that you will not be able to use it if you don't accept it.
That was a key tenet of the No campaign that
Yeah.
they said, actually. So,
Yeah. I'm actually thinking they should really have lie detector tests up in the Dáil,
Oh God, yeah.
shouldn't they?
Yeah.
inspired.
I know.
Oh, that would be so cool. Can you imagine, like, if they were all hooked up? Yeah, that would really make Roxas Report interesting, actually, because they do say that only drunks and insomniacs watch the Roxas
Can
Report.
we not have a penalty
But-
point system for every promise they don't fulfill?
There
That
should
they-
be
Some
they
people
reduce
forget
their pension.
Promises. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think
No,
people
they
believe
should be
political
listed.
promises.
Their promises should
Hit
be
them where
listed.
it hurts. Yeah, the pocket.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think we're going to go for an ad break at the moment, and we're going to
We
take
never
a
get a
breather.
politician back on this show.
Never.
You're watching Cavan TV.
Isn't it?
Welcome back to Forum Views, your local magazine show on Cavan TV. Remember, folks, if you want to get on this show, if you want to come on this show,
If you want to get it
or
on.
if you want a topic
If
on
you
the
are
show,
brave enough
if you want to get it
to
on
join the chaos.
show, then contact CavanTV.com or
We should have that
drumlinmedia
music in the
at
background.
gmail.com. So I've scared every one of you from contacting us.
Terrified. You've terrified us. What are you talking about? Not to mind it.
So we're on to, look, we're talking about European identity and politics and all of that kind of stuff.
Malarkey.
But isn't it great that we have leaders at least that know how to bull crap properly?
I love this.
Romney has
Romney.
made
His latest.
he
gem.
may be the leader of the most powerful nation on earth, and he may have outdone George W. Bush with his little quip of saying, I don't know why they don't do that, having open airplanes on windows.
Yes.
Opening an airplane on a window.
Open windows on airplanes.
airplanes.
Is that
Hello.
open
Yeah,
air-
I don't think
He
he
said-
realises air pressure.
He said, when you have a fire in an aircraft,
He
there's
just
no
always wanted
place to
open
go.
it.
And you can't find any oxygen from outside the aircraft to get in the aircraft because the windows don't open. I don't know why they don't do that. It's a real problem. So it's very dangerous. Oh God, Mitt. No, what's more dangerous is the fact that you get elected.
Yes.
Jeez, this is unbelievable. The 3 a.m. call could be coming to a moron who thinks that you should open the windows on an airplane. That's really comforting.
Yeah.
You roll with that Republican.
I think we could solve this entire problem by giving him what he wants right now. Open that window, Mitt.
Open it. Yeah.
Well, in fairness, he has signed. He's finished his own campaign anyway.
Have you been following any of that? I haven't been following any American stuff.
No.
Yeah, I've been following it. Yeah.
And what's
I've contemplated taking the week off of the election.
What?
I'm just sitting at home on the TV.
You're not one of those ones, are you?
No, I have.
Really?
My dream would be to take off 6 months of work in the run up to a presidential election and just go and follow them around. I'd love to do it.
Do you know a guy did that in? Do you know Moncon? He's a
Moncon McGann.
Yeah, and he did that. He followed it around. He's
does
fantastic
stuff.
He's a lovely guy. He's a
he
really
does
nice guy.
stuff.
Yeah,
He has great Longford connections, actually.
He only lives outside Finney.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hyperlocal.
Yeah. He's really nice.
Didn't I see a program? It was his. Oh gosh, was his grandmother related to Samuel Beckett in some way?
Yes.
There wasn't there.
Yeah,
there's some
relation.
Yeah,
really
he's got close connection.
Yeah.
They have letters from Samuel Beckett at their home in Longford. Like really weird. Anyway.
Yeah. He's big into eco. You'd love him.
Oh, I love it. Oh, well.
Yeah, he's actually got an eco house, so he does as a little
He's doing a great thing for TG Carr called Dainty and Aaron. Basically, he went round and tried to eat only food made in Ireland, wear only clothes, drive a car made in Ireland, but you can only use the fuel. You can only use the fuel, and he had to give up on the fuel because I remember I didn't see the program, but
and he's
I read
still alive.
It. Yeah,
he didn't die of exposure.
Yeah,
or
he just he's brilliant. Yeah,
what was he wearing? A hirsute?
I don't know. Probably
McGee's
or something like that. Tweed suit, something like that. I can imagine Moncon in his Jesus sandals and the.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's great.
Just to bring us back to the topic, Sheila, who's going to win the elections?
In America, I'd say Obama will, and I wouldn't have said that 3 months ago. I really thought he was going to lose out. Actually, I thought everything had gone against him, but it would. Romney has just literally thrown the whole thing away, So I don't think Obama has done enough in the 4 years. He has let a lot of people down. I think the best line, the best put down I heard for Obama was Sarah Palin. So how's that hopey changey thing going for you? that summed a lot of it up.
Did she wordcraft that while she was peering across at Russia?
I can see Russia from my window.
What a legend.
A legend.
Well, look, let's go hyper-local again. What you doing this weekend, Siobhan?
What am I doing? I'm actually crossing the border and going to Longford this weekend. So I am to the Backstage Theatre. Because I missed Porrick McIntyre's play in Virginia.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go over to the Backstage and do that, and it's going to be great. It's called Checkout Girls. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I said I was going the last time I was here, but I missed it due to other commitments. So
that packed schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a great one.
And Sheila, what are you doing this weekend?
What I want to mention this weekend, because we're actually still in Longford, bizarrely enough, but only Granard.
Welcome to your local
show,
folks.
This is a fantastic idea, what they're doing in Granard. St Mary's and Granard are in the intermediate final in Longford over the weekend. They're playing Newtown Castle, who I think the whole country knows now because they're in the Celebrity Banish Store. But St Mary's are holding an Up for the Match night tomorrow night in John V's Donoghue's in Granard. It's a great little pub in Granard.
Oh, it's a great,
and basically they're all jamming into it, and they're holding, like, basically they're going to have their own Des Cahill and Grania Shoga. God knows who that's going to be out there, but yeah, like I've gone to a few things in Granard.
Yeah,
and they
really
John
do go all
really
out.
Good. Yeah, it's a great spot.
Yeah.
So I thought that sounded like a really great idea.
Might do that after the play.
It'd probably be better than the real Up for the Match, which is the greatest pile of parochial crap that I've ever seen on RTE, and that's saying something.
Allegedly.
No, it's not. It's terrible stuff. It's just awful.
That's factual, not alleged.
I just think that would be really super fun because they will be taking the mick and having crack. So, and it just obviously ties into our own county final this weekend.
I know.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, folks.
What
Go on, lads.
Mullahorn, what?
Yeah.
Monaghan, they're playing an old game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah,
old
Brad
ball
Pitt.
around the
I
field.
saw it, because I haven't been at a football match in, like, I don't know, ever. But
was
seriously, I'm not
I was just
We're coming back to
I was
American
wondering-
here.
I was wondering-
I haven't been in football like that forever. Sheila. What's she doing?
But it's 20 quid to get in, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
To
dear.
a football match.
Yeah.
See, you haven't been to one
No, I
either,
haven't
like,
been to one in
forever.
ages, but like forever. But 20
20
quid.
quid.
They cost, yeah.
To get in.
Wow, I mean, but do the GA not do loads
You
of
should do.
fundraising?
Do you know who
around
I
stuff? Did she not?
that.
Monaghan!
Did you not already pull that line of Cavan TV at the cathedral once? Do you know who I am?
Do you know? I
I am
never
a
did,
reporter
do you
with
know?
Cavan TV. I need to get in here for free to the best seats in the house.
I shamefully did. But I didn't do
shamed.
that. Do you know? I said I have an important interview to
I would
do
love
there.
to have been there and turn around and go, but you were only my guest.
If you had done that, she wouldn't have come on the show ever again.
It's true.
We need her.
Yes,
That's
they
brilliant.
did. I love Cavan
But
TV.
yeah, 20 quid. Yeah.
20 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the old Cavan TV wheeze will
Get us in
carry
there.
much traction with the gal.
Yeah.
No, I really don't.
Actually, as
No.
part of Cavan Community Radio, I was going to go to the business awards last night, but it was 70 quid, so I chose not to.
70 quid for
70 euros in. Yeah, it's pretty high.
Well, it's steep enough for a thing like that. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
To shake hands
But
with
anyway.
Taoiseach, 70 quid.
Andy Kenny.
Mm.
get a picture.
Yeah.
Can you take a picture with him? Probably not.
Would
Probably
the-
has a.
Well, I suppose I'd pay 70 quid if I could get a nice position on the grassy knoll, maybe.
Oh. Just so you can see me running up and down, chasing him with a parish ball.
Yeah. The Mullahorn solution to politics. A parish ball.
Knock their head off.
Well, I think there did actually end up being a primary centre. Westport was one of the places that was going to get one of those primary care centres, and they're saying it's not a very disadvantaged town. There was a few people going, isn't that in Andy Kenny's constituency? But anyway, okay.
Would
Don't
say
go
no
down that road
more.
again. Go back. Is there any other stuff on at the weekend?
Well, I'm away from Cavan. I'm away for the weekend.
What
I'm
are you
going to
going
Port
to
Rush. I'm going to do loads of stuff. But if I was here, I would go to the Ballinagh Community Centre to the gardening club.
Would you?
My God, yeah. I helped set up 2 community gardens in
yeah,
the
so you
county.
did
I'm all
that
into
for
that
this.
green stuff. Siobhan knows.
I know.
Green stuff. Even he says green stuff.
She doesn't
All
know
that
me
ego
at
stuff.
all.
Actually, we must get you down to Granners to do because we were doing a community garden there. So we have your
Community grant.
expertise.
Now I know the
Community
motivation. We're doing community grant.
A bit stuck there, but yeah, community gardens. So we'd have to get you down there.
Yeah, definitely.
To show you a bit
Green
of your
fingers.
knowledge. Be great.
Well, they're clean fingers. I'm not from Mullahorn.
Oh,
green ones.
no.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's-
hopefully we'll have someone not from Mullahorn next week, and we might just mix
no,
things
'cause
around.
that too.
We won't
You'd be
take
doing
the
it on your
offence to
own.
that. Yeah.
You want to do it on your own? Is that what you want? You want to do it on your own?
Are you here next week? Actually, the greatest
Make him
tumbleweed
sweat,
I've had
Sheila.
on this show tonight is when I said I would do the gardening club. I felt like a complete nerd. These were
The gardening
silent.
club.
I was
Well,
waiting for you to elaborate.
say something about
It's a
it.
garden- it's-
you
it's
say
a-
garden club.
Okay, it has a special speaker, Brendan Farrell, with the topic Top 10 Plants for Autumn. And it's €4 and you get to know all about your planting for autumn.
I know Brendan Farrell, he's super.
Is he?
Yeah, actually. I
4
have to
years
say,
is
yeah.
nothing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
to
Well, when
go-
you can think of it, it's 20 quid
Yeah.
to go into the final.
You could go
And I'd probably get slated
Yeah.
for
You
that.
could go to
say
5
something
garden
like
clubs. 5 garden clubs or one match?
Think of the fun you could have.
Yeah.
At the garden club or the match?
But the excitement would be at the match, really. But I'm sure there'd be loads of
I
excitement.
got
at
excited about trees and
I
stuff.
know, I'd say so. I love hugging trees too.
There you have
There.
it.
There's something in common.
It's
I knew what you were
this
thinking.
sort of
Don't
evening.
try to deny it, Daniel.
Don't hug them.
Are
Really,
you two
but
totally hug a tree? You
I
totally
have
are
to
a
share
tree.
what the guys in my ear have just said. Do you want to branch out in something else?
No.
Oh, boom.
They should be on this couch.
Oh, yeah.
Or they should be on some couch, but
Yeah. Well, folks, that's about all we have time for at the moment. But do try and join us. Get on
you
this
have
show
some
if you want
friends.
to, or if you can, or we'll try and corral you in here and trap you some evening. Do, folks, get on the show, or if you have any burning topics that you want to air, please come on the show. Please. come on the show. Get in contact with us on cavantv.com or drumlinmedia@gmail.com. So from myself and our lovely guest Siobhan Harton,
thank you very much. As always,
guys.
super fun.
And our fantastic co-host Reilly.
Oh yes.
Thank you very much. And all the guys in the back, thanks very much.